Good morning. It's always hard to speak after Diego's because, he's so good at it. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, the opportunity of, to discuss these issues. This is an experience that we've been involved in for the last 10 years so that we can open to the industry. It's a wonderful experience because this is not only a chain. I was just talking with Bernard and he talked about networks, and because networking, this networking is the network that is so nice and so, I would say, healthy for the whole industry. Since we have our audience is quite diverse, I think I'd like to discuss what this sector involves. I mean, dried pasta. This sector is not well known because even though the product is quite popular, we believe there are many beliefs and many thoughts about what dry pasta is and consumer behavior and so on. So through this brief presentation, we'll shed some light on this. Just to have a look at the context, this is the dry pasta industry in the world. This industry is not, like other upstream, industries in terms of tons and tons and tons. We have a major difference here, and this is we are in supermarkets. And since we are a supermarket type of product, we have very specific issues, and probably our numbers are not so big in terms of FOB or volumes. But what we do have, which is interesting and makes this industry passionate, is this, since we are at supermarkets, we are in the households, and 14 million tons is the world market of dried pasta around the world, which is divided as you can see it on the map. This is the market share across the different regions. South America, the market share of South America is quite significant, and 2.5, you can see on the right, is the Argentine market share in the world market share. I'm not talking about exports. This is just about production, and these Latin American, South American countries are the ranking on the dry pasta industry in the region. And Brazil, as in other industries, is leading the sector, which is above 1 million tons, 1.2 million tons, but our performance is quite significant. 327 million tons of dry pasta consumption in Argentina. Compared to other sectors, maybe these are not outstanding figures, but within dry pasta products, we have, products that are less than $1 per kilo, so it's quite heterogeneous. 23 million tons in terms of exports, particularly to Chile, and 3 million imported. So this is just, roughly speaking, the figures, so we can have some notion, some idea about the dry pasta industry in Argentina, and then exports. And this is where we're getting rid of one of the myths, so you're busting one of the myths, which is having these products on the supermarket, because people say you may be concerned about exports and imports, but I tell them that it hasn't been a real issue and probably won't be a real issue because we are the wheat chain. I mean, we shouldn't be afraid of exports. Of course, the Italian dry pasta is really good, but no one denies that. But there's still a niche that prefers the kind of dry pasta. But well, and anyway, 41 are the dry pasta facilities in the country. This is an official figure. Now we'll get into some more figures. The dry pasta industry is widely present, together with cookies, in households. 98% penetration in the market. This is the number of households that at least buy one package of dry pasta a year. But this is not the reason for our success, because this can be misleading. This figure can be misleading. So it's good for us to be present in a household. But what kind of households are we more present? Well, low-income households. And this is the format of our industry today. Have a look at these figures. 85% of our market share is in low and very low income families. And this is how the picture of the dry pasta industry is made up of. Also, strongly present where there are 5 or more people in those households. And then, students and families without kids. So this picture, which looked optimistic because we're massively present in all households, but how are we present? Because we shouldn't forget that we are a domestic, particularly a domestic type of industry. We can export, we can do it, and we are willing to do it, but we're more present in the domestic market, and this is quality. On the left, this is the market share or the participation, but the one on the right is the most important. That talks about the quality, that discusses the qualities of the pasta that is sold. And here again, most importantly, are the wheat plus semolina, wheat flour and semolina, and the core of consumers is this. It's always been like this. The dry pasta industry has grown due to this, and this is the reason why we are here. But then from volume to volume construction. I mean, the volume is there, right? Without a doubt, we are a popular, massive industry. The volume, we have that. But how are we to add value? And I think that we have here, as an industry, we haven't been able to efficiently communicate all the diversity in the sector. Why? Because when a consumer today goes to a supermarket, it can already tell some varieties or variables like price, what we call, a different type of dry pasta, maybe spaghetti, long and short. And the diversity of the dry pasta industry in Argentina, I mean, we're actually wasting all of the value of our industry because we haven't been able to communicate all of the variety to the consumers. For example, this thin, flat spaghetti. Some people may know the difference, but this kind of spaghetti is really a wonderful product we have because it's one of it's one of the industry that's unique that manufactures this unique product, and this is it involves a special way of or technique to manufacture this kind of spaghetti. One is this, using this kind of method or technique and this other technique. The technique on the right is kind of the most popular one that is usually produces more massive volumes. They supply the whole Argentina, so to speak. And the other one is a more traditional, way that gives the dry pasta some really unique features. It's like a homemade, a home pasta machine, and these machines we use are exactly the same ones used by fresh pasta. And this product, it's exactly the same that is sold in fresh pasta industry. The fresh pasta has 35% of humidity or moisture. The other one has 12. And the other value the industry has is durum. Durum wheat is another different kind of consumption experience or consumer experience that is key to other countries. And we have just 20, 30 at most of our market in durum wheat, which has really positive features for pasta making. So we make this kind of wheat. We're very proud of a durum wheat production in our country, but we have to communicate this better. We have to train consumers so that they can tell what durum pasta is. In terms of price, it's really, price difference is really small, and the advantages of this product are really huge. To wrap up, so I would like to think outside the box and see all of the value our industry has. These are some concepts to think upon. Vegetarian. This product is part of vegan and vegetarian diets, except for the cases they contain egg. This is what we call a clean label product. A clean label are those products that have the same ingredients we can find at home. And this, this gives a lot of security to consumers, and also a low carbon footprint and a water footprint. There are many benefits and virtues to this product, and we have to just learn to communicate this better. And by thinking outside the box, I also mean the product uses. Pasta is always associated to, our grandparents, Sunday meals and making the pasta, cooking the pasta. We appreciate the tradition, but I think we should invite consumers to think about pasta, but not in terms of the Sunday lunches or Sunday meals. So you can see how creative this product can be. You can combine this with meat, salads, cold, warm, any kind of cooking method, or fried, even as desserts. This is rice and milk. And this is pasta with ice cream, with coffee. Just to summarize, I asked someone who works with me in the communication department to come up with a drawing based on the ideas I just put forward, and she came up with this, and I would like to share this with you. This is an Italian icon, the Vespa motorcycle, which is quite popular. It's passive, it's reliable, it never fails, just as our product. And to two icons representing the past, present, and future, the grandmother, the rolling pin, and Frida Kahlo, as the testimony for rebelling, that represents creativity for this sector. Thank you very much.